The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Welcome to the August 22nd, the magnificent Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that, well, it's to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We're going to go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this, during this next 60 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on it at 877-927-6648. If you can't dial in, we've got you covered there too. You can always send me an email. I'll send it early, please. Send it to steve@tfnn.com. And inside the subject heading, if you'd be kind enough to put radio show question. Of course, inside our Tiger's Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on magnificent Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, all the U.S. indices trading the downside. The biggest leader, the downside percentage-wise, is the semis are off 2 7/10% or 80 points. That's followed up by the NASDAQ 100. That's off 2 2/10% or about 300 points. The Dow's off 476, 1.5%. The S&P 1 8/10 at 75 points to the downside. You've got gold trading out at $17.49. That's off $13. Silver's down 12 pennies at $18.94. Light crude down $3.33, 87.11 is the print there. Natural gas up 26 cents, but today is bar number 9 of a TD9 count. That pattern will complete tomorrow, and that at least suggests that price should pull back to its oscillator and change line. We'll take a look at that during the show. 30-year Treasury is down 12 ticks, 138.03 is the print there. Lead the charge dollar-wise the upside. The movers are computer services up $19, 49%. Alpha Metallurgical Resources up $7.50, about 5%. Argenix is up 2% or $8. Arch Resources up 7 and change, that's 4.5%. And Signify Health is up 33%, that's $7 to the upside. The shakers out there, Mercado Libre off $36, that's 4%. $76 for Booking Holdings, $14 the downside for MicroStrategy. Chipotle's trading out at $16.42, that's off nearly 2% or 30 buckaroonies. And BlackRock down 2.5%. Trading out at $6.95. That's off about $18 and change. So where do we want to begin? Let's get right to the. Let's get right to it. Right to it means we're going to show you the chart that is the most important right now for us to be watching and observing. That chart or charts are the 60-minute time frame for the equity future contracts. That's what we have up on our screen right now. If you look at the upper left, you've got the ES Mini. What you will see is as we came on the air at 11 o'clock sharp-a-rooney, you had the bar following bar number 9 of a TD9 count that is formed. That says we've got a TD9 count bottom. What that tells us is that price should go bounce up towards its oscillator and change line that is currently printed at 41.69. That number is going to move up and down as price moves up and down as well. So you can use that as a guideline. Now, what we can also see about the ES Mini is since midnight out here, what we can see is, what was that, midnight? Midnight on August the 29th. Wait, what? 29th. Hello, Stevie. Wake up. That's midnight, August 19th. So that would have been Friday out there. Okay, so since Friday, here's what we can see. We can see that all rallies, with the exception of one, that rally was at 2,300 hours. That would have been last night. price has been below that oscillator and change line. Now, price got right back below it on that very next session. We can see that price ran into resistance, the bottom of its daily profile. So we can see that oscillator and change line has been a real key area of resistance. So we should see a counter trend move in the ES mini up towards 41.69. If price can get above that, assuming there's no new profile that forms, then you've got resistance at the 41.79 level, 41.87, and 41.95 above that. You really need to close about 42.14 to say the coast is clear to the downside. That's a TD9 count breakdown level. Now, a close, an hourly close that is, below the low of the TD9 count, which is really the close. The low, my apology. 41.51 and a quarter. 41.51 and a quarter is the level to watch. Now, you have the same pattern inside the NQ. Bar number 9, following bar number 9 is the pattern that's out there. That low is 12.951. That's the area to watch. Price should target its oscillator and change line. Currently printing at 13.010 out there. If price get above that, the next area of resistance will be 13.062. Above that, 13.106. In order to get out of the woods, price needs to close above 13.197. TD9 count bottom on a 60-minute time frame for the hourly chart for the Dow Equity Future contract. The key level there to be watching. Now, this is not an intraday. This is an hourly close below those levels that I've given you. That would be 33.178 for the Dow Equity Future contract. We do not have a TD9 count bottom on the Russell 2000. In fact, I do not have any kind of a bottom pattern out here whatsoever, other than I'm sure there's a buy. There would be an A to B equals CD to downside that would complete on an hourly basis if we saw a bullish reversal candle there. So our focus on these TD9 counts with regard to the momentum today, if these get taken out, that tells us that markets are likely to, or these markets, equity markets, are likely to head lower. Now, we need to do a bit of a further dive other than just this, so let's start that work. And by that work, I mean, let's go take a look at the ES Mini. This is the NQ. Let's do this so I don't have to change, wait for it. Let's take a look at the NQ. Now we're getting a bigger view as to, or a view as to what is going on out here. We're looking, so the only signal so far, make sure this is correct. Yeah, the only signals are the TD9 count bottom on the 60-minute time frame and a TD9 count bottom on the 10-minute time frame. The low of that 10-minute bar, that's at the 12.949.50. The low of the 60-minute bar, that is 12.951 out there. So you got two TD9 counts to watch and observe. So the the 10-minute chart out there would be the one that would give us the most information, and that most information would be if price can close above its oscillator and change line. That's at 12.078. Oops, let me see here. I'm sorry. Really didn't mean to do that. Meant to do this. 12.978. So 12.978 is a level to watch the upside. I gave you the level to watch the downside. On a 10-minute basis, you need to close below that TD9 count to negate that pattern signal. If price can close above 12.978, then we've got to run up to 13.026, above that 13.065. So that's what's going on inside the NQ on the daily and the intraday charts out there. The question is, what's going on the weekly time frame? Is there an easy way for me to do that? There probably is. Let me just pull this over here. This is the wheat chart, but let's go take the NQ 09-22. Let me just see what pops out here at us. The daily, how did that work? Oh, I grabbed the wrong chart. My apology for that. So I'll figure that out during the breakout here, the NQ, and then we'll come back and we'll start taking some questions that have come in. One on crude oil. Mike in Portugal wants to take a look at Apple. Vic wants to take a look at wheat. The ETF, we'll take a look at the equity future contract and Arch. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Be right back.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back up, folks. So we're taking a look at the NQ before we went into that break. We've got a caller on the line. Let's go to Ray in Sarasota, who also wants to talk about the NASDAQ 100. So, Ray, thanks so much for calling. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. And
excellent.
I've actually got 2 stocks I wanted to talk to you about. One is a follow-up to our call last week on BERU.
Got it.
And
so
you called it perfectly. You said it was going to go to 24.57, and it got to 24.55 before rolling over and coming back down. And I'm curious as to how far you see VERU pulling back.
So great question. The next level of support is at 1641, or at least that's the first thing that pops up on my charts out here. And where we're going with that, Ray, is price on Friday closed below the bottom of its daily profile. That's 1791. We're trading below it today. A second consecutive close says, okay, we likely head. Hold on a minute here. I take that back. It is trading below the center of its bearish structured profile. It did that on Friday, and if it does that again today, then the suggestion here is 1260. 1260 is the bottom of its daily profile. But before price gets down there, it would have to prove itself to us and close below 1641. And 1641 is the top of the weekly profile, which price did close above. And last week, what VERU did was it confirmed a sell the D point pattern. The reason that it confirmed that, one, it was an A to B equals C to the upside. It was about a 1.272. But that is a bearish shooting star candle out here, which is working. So the first answer to your question basically is, where's the next level of support? And that's at 1641. And Ray, if that level fails, then the signal would be moved down to the bottom of its daily profile, and that would be at $12.60 out there. I'm going to pull over real quickly the 30-minute time frame chart just to see what's going on intraday out here. And from an intraday standpoint, even though there's Rhodes momentum indicator signals that have been triggered, there's no bullish reversal candle to confirm any kind of bottom. So this is suggesting to move to 1564. We're at 1685, but price closed below 1564 on that 30-minute time frame chart. Well, that'll already take us below that 1641 level out there. And what that would then do, Ray, is give us another piece of information to suggest that 1260 would be the target. So, in summary, it's 1641, and below that, 1260. Any questions about that?
No, very, very helpful. What I've been doing, it's a great stock for trading in the last few months. And I bought shares between $12.50 and $15. And this is a company that's got a pill for COVID, for hospitalized people that supposedly cuts mortality rate by 50%. And they filed for approval with the FDA. So I was buying shares. I'm actually in, on average, somewhere around 14 and a quarter. But I was able to sell October 15 calls for an average of $5 a piece. And so I'm hoping that they take the shares away from me.
I understand.
So I was just curious as to whether it was going to go back and whether I could even add more shares to my position before October. The other question I had for you is on the QQQs. I'm short the QQQs right now, and I'm wondering if you see them pulling down to around $300 on this pullback.
QQQ. So let me get the charts up here on the screen. So the first thing we're going to do here to answer that question, we've got a couple of pieces of maybe conflicting information. So, and that conflicting information goes like this. So first, I'm going to take a look at what I have up on my screen here, because this is really where I left off as we went to that closing segment number one, which was, okay, price is below the daily profile for the NQ. If price closes below that, where is price likely headed to? And I said, let's go take a look at the weekly charts. So on the weekly chart, there is a new profile that's attempting to form. And Ray, that is at the equivalent of 12,565. And so what I would say is if price does close below bottom of its daily profile, it opens up the door for that to become the price target, 12,565. Any questions about that before I flip over to the QQQ charts?
No.
Okay.
That's clear.
Okay, now I'm going to flip over to this one here, which is the 4 index ETFs. We're going to expand out the QQQ ETF. Now what we see here is price below the bottom of its daily profile. This is for the Qs. That's at 321.12. That suggests lower price. But what we can also see is there is a new weekly profile that, in fact, has formed. I mean, even though I've got I have my advanced Doppler tool here, but this is pretty solid. We'll get confirmation tomorrow. But right now, this new profile that is, we'll call it attempting to form, is below price. And that's a bullish message. So here, this would say, and I'm not saying it's the equivalent of the 30. This says price could pull back or should pull back to 305.59 and find support there. Your question was, do I see this pulling back to 300? Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
So hopefully 305.59 would be close enough for that outcome out here. At least that's what. So we've got different profiles out here. This one is very bullish because when a profile forms below price, that's just simply a bullish message out here. But we won't get confirmation until tomorrow. So I would say at this stage here, it's not 300 that I see, but the first level to be watching, observing would be 305.59. Now, the caveat there is that if we get a one-day rate of change above plus 10% in the spot volatility index, even though the spot volatility index is just tracking the S&P 500. Give me a moment here to find this chart. It should be here. Where is it? Oh, Stevie. Here we go. So here, this is what I do on this set of charts here, Ray, is I track when we have one-day rates of change above plus 10% or below minus 10%. Right now, we're dealing with the one that would be above plus 10%. We're at a one-day rate of change right now at 1124 of 13.54%. Those reflect these blue arrows that we have here, and typically what we see is a bounce or bottom during the very next trading session out there. So, so that could get in the way. Now, it could just be a simple bounce overnight and a flush to the downside, but I just simply want to bring that to your attention as well. Does any questions about what I've shared with you so far, and is there any additional information that I can get for you?
No, that's been very, very helpful.
Perfect.
Yep.
So, Ray, thanks for the call. Much appreciated, and best of luck to you on that trade, on both of those trades. You bet.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You bet. You do the same. Let's go to our next question, which was from Mike, who wanted to take a look at light sweet crude. So we're going to switch panels out here. If you give me a moment, and we'll get to the light sweet crude charts. This is not what's popping up on the screen right now, but we'll have that here momentarily. Come on, Stevie. Where is it? Right here, light sweet crude. There we go. So now we take a look at light sweet crude. We got the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame suggests, that's the upper left-hand corner, that because price is below that oscillator and change line, that 82.65 is the price target, bottom of its profile. The weekly chart shows that last week was a hammer, but more important, it was bar number 9 of a TD9 count. This says that a TD9 count pattern will complete this week. When I say complete, you've got bar number 9, but can be the bar following bar number 9 that identifies the low here. Don't know that that's going to happen. If we take a look at the daily time frame chart, it has a buy the D point pattern. As long as price closes above the low of that pattern, the low of that pattern is 86.07. You've got a buy pattern here. So you got a buy pattern on the daily, buy pattern on the weekly. The monthly is a little bit suspect at the moment. We come back from this break, we'll finish looking at light sweet crude.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. So, Ray, I'm sure you're listening in still. One of our denners pointed out to me that if you take a look at the Qs, that is Lars inside the Tiger's Den. So we got a wingman, wingwoman out here. That in essence, inside the Qs, you do have that island top. What he's referring to is the Qs had gapped up on August 10th. and they've gapped down this morning. And that set up the island where no price has touched any of that area. And that's the area I'm referring to from the low of August 10th to the low from on Friday out there. Now, preferably you get island tops and bottoms up at all-time highs, all-time lows, those types of things out there. But yes, that's a good point out there, Lars. Now, is this the kind of island top that's going to lead to us getting back to the June lows? It's possible. We've got to take things one step at a time, and so that one step at a time is going to be watching the profile level on the weekly basis for the NQ that's out there. So thank you, each of you. There was another question that was inside the Tiger's Den. So let's get back to our next question out here, which was light sweet crude. This is for Mike. So we were taking a look at light sweet crude. I didn't show the island top. My apology. Hold on. I thought I did. Let me go back here. Let me just make sure that so people can see that. So I've got that in this little yellow square that I drew in there with the dates, and that in essence becomes the island that is out there. So now let's go take a look at light sweet crude, finish that chart up. We were looking at daily, weekly, and the monthly that were out there. So just want to take a look at what's going on in the short-term time frame. So if we look at a 30-minute chart out here, see if there's any kind of pattern whatsoever. Certainly there's an A to B equals CD to the downside, but believe it or not, no bullish reversal candle out here. So Stevie can't call that a buy the D point pattern out there. Doesn't mean it has a bottom, just means I'm not going to lie to you. That's a different story. We take a look at the 60-minute time frame chart. There you had a three-river morning star, or you appear to have that. This candle isn't complete till noon, but what we can see here is that price with this bottom found resistance right at its oscillator and change line at 88.93.94 right now. So does that have a bottom? Yes, but it's also found resistance, so kind of suspect out there. 120-minute time frame chart. No bottom signal. Price is pulled back to its breakout area at 86.11. I don't see any other kind of bottoms or anything out there. So really what's controlling this, so it appears, would be the daily chart. And that is that buy the D point that takes us back to the low of the trading session of July the 14th out there. And as long as that area holds, we've got a bottom. We just don't have on the daily and the weekly out there. So I hope that helps you out, Mike. I know you were inside that trade out there. The next question was to take a look at Apple. This is for Mike in Portugal. We'll switch over to those charts here momentarily. And I think it was just Mike had just asked for a basic review. So on a monthly time frame, we can see that price is trading into resistance. That's the top of its monthly profile as well as its green oscillator and change line. There's a TD9 count top that is still present. On a weekly time frame, we do not have any kind of a top out here. And price in Apple, well, let me do this here. I want to just make sure, change this. I'm not going to change your screen. I'm just changing my other screens just to make sure I've got clarity out here. When I mean clarity, I'm just trying to find out where those yeah. So in the case of Apple, Mike, it is a bearish structured profile. My apology. On a weekly basis, there's a bearish structured weekly profile. Price closed above it last week, closed above it the week before. And what that says is if this is just a counter trend move inside of Apple. Now, Apple is below its green oscillator and change line. It is below the bottom of its daily profile out there. So that says if this is just a counter trend move, that's weird on that daily chart out there. Let me reload that. Then where price should find support would be at 163.75. That is the center of its bearish structured weekly profile. However, 167.64, which is the top of that weekly profile, that could also be a support level. Now, if those support areas do not hold, then we're likely going to see a move back towards the oscillator and change line. That's currently printed at 159.85. Now, in the daily time frame, now that we got the candle here correct, let's open this chart up. Let's pull this back just a tad. So, there's certainly buy the D point or sell the D point patterns out here. A to B equals CD. We can choose several of them. What we do know is that Apple lost its bullish momentum move on Friday when price closed below that green oscillator and change line. There's a new profile that had formed on Friday. I think we talked about that. 170.60 is the bottom. Price is trading below that area out there. That suggests that Apple could move all the way back to 152.16. Now, that's the daily TD9 count breakout area. But you and I just took a look at the weekly chart. And so the weekly chart is where we would go to take a look at really the next area of support out there. And we've identified that's the top of that profile, 167.64. Now, well, that's a weird, got some weird ticks here in Apple. So let me just reload all this stuff. Otherwise, it makes looking at these charts somewhat useless out here. So we're going to get it from useless to useful. Perfect. So now we've got the 15-minute time frame chart up there. I don't have any kind of bottom signal there. A TD9 count bottom appears to be forming on the 30-minute time frame chart. That will form as long as at 12 noon, price closes below 168.95 or 168.60. What price does not close below that 168.95, that TD9 count pattern will get negated. If price does close below, that's going to suggest to move to 169.92, Mike. That's the 30-minute oscillator and change line. Above that, 171.97 would come into the picture. The 65-minute time frame is going to complete bar number 9 as we speak. So you likely are going to get a TD9 count bottom. 11:40, that'd be 12:40. So at about 1 o'clock or so, you've got a now. That doesn't mean that it can't happen now. It will just simply complete by that time frame. So you got bottom signal on the 30, bottom on the 65, nothing on the short-term 15-minute chart. 130-minute chart does not have a bottom. Price is back at support on the 195-minute time frame. So it does look like Apple is getting ready to bounce here. And if Apple bounces, well, then so too will the NQ charts out there. So, Mike, that's what I see when I take a look at Apple. Is it over for Apple? Not yet. At least not the way that I see it. Apple is trading a bit like the NQ in that it formed bar number 7 last week. So, TD9 count top could form inside of Apple, could form between this week and 2 weeks from now out there. So, Mike from Portugal, thanks much for writing in. Hope you're having a great day out there. Vic wanted to take a look at wheat. So let's do this here. I think let's go to our 3 time frame charts. We can take a look at the daily, weekly. So we've got the wheat contract. That is December. Now, I know that Vic is trading WEAT out there, and that's going to be probably 3 different contracts that are inside WEAT. Odds favor that it's the December. I haven't looked it up, because you'd have to go look that up yourselves, but it's likely December 2022, December 2023, and one of the contracts in between. But right now, with regard to the December contract out here, on a daily time frame, there is a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that has been triggered. But what I don't have is a bullish reversal candle. That does not mean that it hasn't bottomed. It just means that I don't have the confirmation from my bottom. Now, price is trying to get back inside its daily profile, and a close above 780.73 today will accomplish that task. If you get back inside the profile, that suggests that perhaps price will make a run for 808.40 to 826.85. What I can share with you with absolute certainty for the December contract, that is, and again, you have to look to see what contracts are inside WEAT out here. It is likely going to be 3 contracts. But if you were just trading the December contract for wheat, if price did close with 826.85, then I'd say we have a solid bottom that is in place. On the weekly time frame, price negated a TD9 count bottom last week with its close. But what price also did was it tested and rejected its breakout level of 749. Sometimes just coming back to a breakout level, Vic, can in fact be a bottom signal. That makes 826.85 even more importante to you and your long trade for the percentage, which is likely 30% of the contracts that make up WEAT, the ETF. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. So I do have the Techrium ETF, WEAT, up on my screen, and it does show that the holdings out here, we've got December 2022, about 30%. 35% for December 2023, 35% for March of 2023. So those are the contracts that make that up out here. As you take a look at those contracts across the top, again, they all show Rhodes Momentum Indicator signals, but no bullish reversal candles. Each of them trying to get back inside their profiles. We look at this wheat, WEAT, on a daily basis. This did have a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom out here. Your resistance area is at 832 to 840. That's a bearish structured daily profile. The 30-minute charts out here that we're looking at suggest staying with this trade, even though we don't have that daily bottom signal out here. So I hope that helps you out. Vic, I know you also wanted to look at ticker symbol ARCH. That's trading to the upside. So let's switch over to those charts, see what they are communicating to you and I out here. So you've got this is taking out a daily TD9 count bottom that completed on Friday. So there was not even a hiccup. This is a very strong bullish message out here. It says that price gets back to its highs. That's the daily time frame. Unfortunately, what could possibly get in the way of Arch out here is the top of its weekly profile, which has been hit so far, and that's 173.13. So even though we've got a nice breakout message on the daily time frame, you still have run into the weekly resistance level. So in order for Arch to really get on its merry way to the upside, it needs to take that area out. That means on Friday, you need to see a close above 170.13. I don't see a reason to exit this position, but you are up at a resistance level. The weekly time frame the monthly time frame looks bullish as well. So it's just that weekly area that you're dealing with out here. On a 30-minute time frame, I don't see a top. You are going to form bar number 7. There could be a TD9 count top, assuming that price takes out the current high, and that would be between about 12 and 130 out there. But the daily says stay with it. The monthly says stay with it. You've just got to battle, and now you know where and why, and that's at 173.13. That is where the sellers exist out there. So, Nick, thanks so much for the request. We've got some requests inside the Tiger's Den. This one is from Coda. He wants to take a look at KRBN. So let's get KRBN up on our screen out here, see what that is. Coda gave me 2 FCG. We'll take care of KRBN first out here. And then we'll go take a look at FCG. So this is Crane Shares Global Carbon Strategy out here, which has pulled back today, and is pulling right back to the to an old profile. My chart here is not showing the new profile, but you can see it's pulling back to 48.85. That was the old profile from Friday. I'm going to switch over this set of charts out here so you can see these code as well. Price also holding a brand new daily profile. Now, the bottom here and the center are both the same, Coda. They are at 49.13. That says this is a strong buy area, 49.13 that is. So if price closes below 49.13, strong buy area would say we're likely headed lower. Now, I say we're likely headed lower, but when we switch back and take a look at the white background screens, in order for that statement to be true, price will have to close below its green weekly oscillator and change line. And that is at about 48.94 out here. So you've got support holding right now on a daily time frame, support on a weekly time frame holding out there. And you're not going to have a TD9 count pattern because price is clearly below bar number 5, so that's going to go away. But we do have wave number 7, wave number 4 out there. So you wanted me to take a look at them. At this stage here, I would be watching the support level of that. I'd really have to say it's got to be the 48.94 area. That is the weekly oscillator unchanged line out there. Let's pull up the chart here for FCG, see if that is a similar looking chart, or if that's some other instrument out here. As we take a look at FCG, different. This is the natural gas. This is a natural gas ETF out there. So in the case of this, now I don't know how this trades. Is this just taking a look at, what contract or contracts are inside this ETF? I don't know if you know that, Coda. But assuming that this is tracking some version of natural gas, we did take a look at that October contract, or we didn't take a look at it. We should take a look at it. It has a TD9 count pattern. So whereas this does not show any kind of pattern other than A to B equals CD to the upside, the B point was that trading session, as you know, from July 29th. There was about 1.2 million shares at that level. That was passed with the volume really a couple of days ago out there. So you've got it confirmed A to B equals CD to the upside. The weekly is above. It's a green oscillator changed on the top of its profile. You do have a TD9 count monthly, but price pulled back, tested, and rejected support out here. So the overall analysis on FCG is that it wants to trade higher out here. Yeah. So this one looks pretty good. So I hope that helps you out. But again, FCG, let's go take a look at natural gas out here. To the extent that FCG is traded off of natural gas, then we might have a different opinion on that. And I don't know the answer to that. That right now I'm going to leave in Coda's hands, maybe to get back to us and let us know what is contained inside that ETF. It may not be natural gas. I don't know. But since I have mentioned natural gas about 20 times by now, we should at least pull those stock charts up. So right now we're going to pull up the natural gas contract. I'm not going to necessarily look at the monthly, but what you're going to see, or you should see out here, is that just waiting for, there you go. So now you can see bar number 9 is going to complete today as price is dealing with resistance levels out here, prior resistance levels. And that says that a TD9 count top should complete or will complete by tomorrow. Will complete by tomorrow out here. Now, what that is signaling to us, not necessarily a reason to jettison your position, just to expect and anticipate a retracement. That may, in fact, impact FCG. I don't know. But here, if you're long, let's say you're long by a UNG or BOIL or one of the ETFs out here, you get a TD9 count top. What price should do is pull back and test support. Now, the first level of support out here is going to be $9.44 for the October contract. That's the top of the profile that price is trying to take out today. If price closes below that, likely it'll at least target its oscillator and change line. That's currently at $9.08. We've made 100% move of a move. When we take a look at the weekly time frame chart, we've done in essence the same thing on the monthly time frame chart. We're up at resistance, but support has got to fail in order to jettison any positions, long positions, from natural gas. So I hope that helps you out, Coda, and anybody that was interested in natural gas out there. We've got one more question that has come in. This one from David H. And David wants to take a look at Occidental Petroleum. So let's get back to our 3-panel charts out here. Let's pull those up. Let's get Oxy. OXY is the ticker symbol. Now let's read David's question. I'm looking for a buy point in Occidental Petroleum. Looks like Oxy just completed an A to B equals C to the upside last Friday on the daily chart. Could Oxy be doing another A to B equals CD to the upside with today's retracement and price being around a 50% retracement of last Friday's high? If you have time, please look at crude oil. Great. We took care of the crude oil for you. So with regard to Occidental Petroleum, on Friday, a beautiful day, price ran right up into its TD9 count breakdown resistance level of 70.99. You got the A to B equals CD pattern. that David is looking at, but it's not a completed pattern. What I mean by that is we do not have a bearish reversal candle. So even though it's completed perhaps the one-to-one, I'll assume that it has. You've done the work on that. Would I sell that D point? The answer is I would not at this stage here. The weekly time frame shows a large consolidation for Occidental. And that's between 53.78 and 71.79. That's the bottom and top of its weekly profiles out here. Monthly does have a TD9 count top. The price is taken on the top of its monthly profile for Occidental Petroleum. And that's at the price point here of 69. I can't read it. 69.24. We'll finish off Occidental Petroleum as soon as we get back from this break.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back up, folks. Let's answer the last question that David had about Occidental Petroleum. He was asking, hey, today's pullback, he did the measurements based on Friday's candle, was a pullback to about 50% retracement level, and his question was, is that a buy area? And I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, it might be, it might not be out here. It would be easier for me to answer, for example, if on a 15-minute time frame, which had a confirmed TD9 count top, price had pulled back to a support level or made some kind of bottoming pattern out there, and I just don't see that for that time frame. Same thing would be true about the 30-minute time frame, a nice TD9 count top. Prices pulled back from that, so we can understand why prices pulled back. But was that a buy point this morning, pulling back to that area? I just don't know the answer to that question. So I don't. But it does look like. Look, you know that price is dealing with resistance. That's at the top of that weekly profile, and that's the area that price really needs to take take out in order for a price to get on its merry way out there. That would negate then a monthly TD9 count top out there, would negate the weekly pattern. So I would stay with Occidental Petroleum, at least at this stage of the game out there. So what's left? I tell you what's left. We started the show by getting right to the point. The right to the point was finding the time frame charts that were providing us with the best signals as to what the market's intent likely was. And that was with the 60-minute time frame. So that's how we will end today's show. We come back to these charts. The ES, the NQ, and the Dow, each forming TD9 count bottoms as we came on the air at 11 a.m. Those patterns have taken hold, at least at this stage here, and they're doing what they should do. What they should do is get up and test those oscillator and change lines. Those oscillator and change lines for the 60-minute time frame have held. Folks, if you're not familiar with the oscillator and change line, subscribe to Mastering Probability. Just do it for at least 29 days. It costs you nothing. You'll see how to actually calculate this on your own so that you can apply this to your charts out there. But if price does close above those oscillator and change lines, then we watch those profile levels. Next, if price takes those out, then we've got a bottom that is in place out there. Not that we finish, in the green today, but that we would at least have short-term bottom patterns. Folks, stay tuned. We've got great programming up next. I'll be back with you tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. Please have a magnificent Monday. Be safe out there. We'll see you again soon. Take care.